Good morning, afternoon, or evening. How y'all doing today? Welcome back to Mr. Mo's Algebra 2 class. Today we're continuing with our word problems, with our distance word problems to be specific. And we're going to do different types as well. But for right now, let's continue with number 3. Jasmine runs at an average speed of 8 miles per hour. 2 hours after Jasmine leaves your house, you leave in your car and follow the same route. If your average speed is 40 miles per hour, how long will it be before you catch up to Jasmine? First of all, before we make any tables or anything like that, let's visualize the problem. Jasmine is here, okay, she's at the house, and then she dips. She goes for a run. Okay? Now, you wait. You chill for 2 hours. You hang out. Maybe it's your cousin or your sister or your girlfriend or someone. She says, hey, babe, I'm going to go to the park real quick. Pick me up later. Maybe that's the situation that's happening here, okay? So she leaves. She's running. You chill at the house. You're hanging out. All right? And then you leave 2 hours later, but you do catch up to her, correct? So let's think about the distances. What do we know for sure about Jasmine's distance and your distance? What do we know for sure about that? They're the same distance. Thank you. They are equal. So you know that Jasmine's distance equals your distance. Give me 1 second, please. Does that make sense, guys? Visualizing it really helps a lot, I find. Now, let's do the math. Okay, let's make my table. Remember that rate times time equals distance, okay? And we have Jasmine's rate, and Jasmine, and then we have you. Okay, what is Jasmine's rate? 8 miles per hour, thank you. Now, do we know how long she travels for? We do not know how long she travels for. Do we know how long she travels, guys? No, we don't know how long she's running for. She's running for X. Okay. So what's the distance that Jasmine ran then? 8x. Very good. Excellent, my brothers. Now, 2 hours after Jasmine leaves your house, you leave in your car and follow the same route. What is your speed now? What is your rate? Okay, now, pay attention. You waited for 2 hours. Now you're going to drive. So how long did you drive for? X plus 2, guys. Now, let's explain this. You waited, wait a second. No. It's X minus 2, guys. Wait. It's X minus 2. It's X minus 2. You're driving for less hours than her. Look, let's say that it's 12 o'clock, okay? She leaves. At 2 o'clock, you get in your car now, and you catch up to her, for example, in 10 minutes. Did you drive for 2 hours and 10 minutes, guys? No. So you traveled for 2 hours less time than she did, didn't she? Didn't you? Does that make sense? Sure? So, what's your distance now? Excellent, guys. I'm so proud of you. Distribute. Very good. 40x times minus 80. Okay. So now, her distance has to equal your distance. The only thing that differs here is how long each of you traveled. So now I'm going to go ahead and add 80 and subtract the 8. So I've got 80 equals 32x divided by 32. Go ahead and reduce here. Okay. What goes into both of these bad boys? 8. 8. Okay, yeah. So we got 10/4, which equals 5/2, which equals 2.5 hours. because we were looking for time, x. Does this make sense, guys? So how long does she travel for at the end? Because I want to know how, well, it asks, how long will it be before you catch up to Jasmine? And then, how far will each of you be from your home? So, how long will you be traveling for? Yes, Jasmine, travel for how long? 2.5 hours. How long did you travel for? Half an hour. Now, how far was the distance? What was the distance though, guys? Guys, what is the distance? Yes, you plug it in, guys. What is your distance? Okay, what is your distance then? Distance equals 8 times x, which is 2.5. So that's going to be 20 miles. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of faces out there. Stop the faces. Just talk to me. Talk to me. How can I help you, gentlemen? Talk to me, guys. Sir. Okay, what whole thing? Where? That doesn't help me. Okay, so we solve for x. So x is 2.5 hours. So Jasmine's time was x, which is 2.5 hours. Your time that you traveled was x minus 2, which was 2.5 minus 2 is 0.5 hours. And then it asks for the distance, because you got to read. How far will each of you be from your house? Well, 8 times 2.5 is 20. 40 times 2.5 is 100, minus 80 is also 20. I just plugged into the formula, sir. Correct. They're both going the same distance. Yes, sir. The 20 is how far they are from their house. That is the distance that they traveled. She traveled at 8x, son. That was her distance, where x is 2.5. Does that make sense? I appreciate your honesty. Anyone else? You got it, my man? Yeah? May I continue, boys? All right, let's do this. Let's do another one. Let's go. Now, haha. Now we're going to leave distance for a while. Now we're going to go to the happy place called geometry word problems. Now, the good news about this is that all of you took geometry. So all of you should know geometry. And all of you should know these formulas. And if you don't know these formulas, perimeter, area, volume, I suggest you learn them quite quickly. Okay? These are all formulas that you should know. Which ones are most likely going to be used? Odds are, usually we're talking about squares. Okay? Perimeter is 4s because all sides are equal. Rectangles, perimeter is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. Triangles, perimeter, you're just adding up all the sides. Okay? Now, a right triangle with legs A and B, you could learn those, but these aren't that important, that common right now. Okay? Definitely the circle, though, is very important. Okay, circumference of a circle is 2 pi r. And then this table also goes into area, which you should know: square, rectangle, triangle, okay, trapezoid, circles. You should know all of these as well. Okay? Now, if you don't know these, it's not a big deal. Learn them. If you don't learn them, though, when you're looking at word problems, it's going to be extremely difficult if you don't know the formulas, okay? So please know those. And then also volume. You have volume of a cube, right rectangular prism, of a cylinder, or pyramid, or cone, or a sphere. Again, all of this you saw last year. So this is just a refresher, a reminder. Okay, remember, if you're watching this in the video, oh, what website? Don't worry about the website. Just write it down. You can hit pause. Okay? So, that being said, gentlemen, let's talk about some geometry stuff. First of all, I want to talk about complementary and supplementary angles. Complementary angles, okay, are angles whose sum is 90. And when working with these types of word problems, remember that a lot of times they're going to talk about an angle and its supplement, or an angle and its complement, okay? Remember that both angles in complementary angles have to add up to equal 90. So if I were to tell you that my angle in question here is x, and I know that both of these complementary angles have to equal 90, how would I represent the complement of that angle? Sir, my brother. Excellent, son. 90 minus x. This skill we've already talked about already. We know that the sum of both of them has to be 90. If one of them is x, well, the other one is going to be 90 minus x. Think about it like this, guys. Put numbers to it. If I know that angle A and angle B equal 90, and I tell you that angle A equals 50, what does angle B have to equal? 40. Why? Because we went 90 minus the given angle, correct? Well, and we know that these two angles, the angle and its complement, are going to equal 90. If I tell you the angle is x, the complement has to be 90 minus x. Now, what's x plus 90 minus x? What's x plus 90 minus x? 90. Because what's x minus x, guys? They cancel, so they're complementary. Whenever two angles add up to be 90, they're complementary. Same kind of philosophy for supplementary, but with supplementary angles, the angles add up to a sum of 180. When working with these types of word problems, please remember that your angle in question is still x, but in this case, if you know that two angles are supplementary and one of them is x, what would the supplement be? 180 minus x. Okay? Now, how does this work? It's actually quite simple. So don't be afraid. Find the measure of two complementary angles such that the measure of the larger angle is 6 greater than twice the measure of the smaller angle. Huh? What? Okay, let's just focus and let's make a little table. Okay? Find the measure of two complementary angles such that the measure of the larger angle, and I put lagger angle. It's not lagger, it's larger. Okay, so let's try that again. Find the measure of two complementary angles such that the measure of the larger angle is 6 greater than twice the measure of the smaller angle. So I'm going to make a table. I got my small angle and a large angle here. What do we know nothing about? Small angle. So what do we call a small angle? And what do we call a large angle here? 2x plus 6. Because it's 6 greater than twice the measure of the smaller angle. If these two are complementary angles, what does the small angle plus the large angle have to equal? Has to equal 90, y'all. So it's just 3x, subtract the 6, equals 84. And x will equal, let's see, it goes in 2, so 28. 28 degrees. So now, I want to find the measure of both angles. So this will be 28. And this will be 56 plus 6, which is 62. and 62 plus 28 does equal 90. Sir?
For this one, will they tell you like specifically you want 90 or 180 because this one did not say?
Yes, it did.
So complementary is always.
Complementary is 90.
Okay.
Supplementary will be always 180. Yes, sir, my brother. Thank you. Thank you. Does that make sense? Thank you. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes, sir.
Great job, guys. Thank you. Now, an angle is 30 less than twice its complement. Find the angle and its complement. So an angle is 30 less than twice its complement. So I've got an angle here, okay, angle, and I've got the complement. We already know that the angle is x, the complement is 90 minus x. So now, an angle, so who's the angle? An angle is 30 less than twice its complement. Okay, so, sorry about that. An angle is 30 less, so an angle x is 30 less than, remember switch, 30 less than twice its complement. So 30 less than twice its complement. Do you see what I just did there? Talk to me. Promise? Does everyone see that, guys? Sir, my brother. Because an angle is twice less than its complement. Didn't we just talk about the fact that when they say angle and complement, this is what you're going to do always? Thank you so much for paying attention. Awesome job. Now let's solve. So I got x equals 180 minus 2x minus 30. So I've got x equals 150 minus 2x. Add the 2x. So I got 3x equals 150 divided by 3. X equals 50. But I want to find the angle and its complement. So this is 50. 90 minus 50 is 40. It's not that bad. But look at what I do. I label things. I make a table. I show myself what's happening. I don't want to hurt myself. I want to help myself. Does that make sense, my brothers? Ask away, guys. We got plenty of time. Okay. We'll continue. The measure of the largest angle of a triangle is 20 degrees more than twice the measure of the smallest angle. The measure of the second angle is 10 degrees more than twice the measure of the smallest angle. Find the measure of each angle of the triangle. Ooh, a lot of stuff going on here, right? Intimidating, right? Right? It's intimidating, right? Okay, we're here to eliminate that intimidation. First of all, let's just remember something from geometry, a little blast from the past. Remember that there are how many total degrees inside of a triangle? 180 degrees, okay? That does not mean that they're all going to be equal. They can be, it depends. Okay, there's a lot of different types of triangles. But always remember that the total angle sum measure of any triangle, I don't care how big, how small, how pretty, how ugly, it is always going to be 180. You with me there? Okay, now, that being said, the measure of the largest angle of a triangle is 20 degrees more than twice the measure of the smallest angle. Woo! We're talking about angles here. So I'm going to make me a little table, guys. They're talking about smallest and largest. So I'm going to go large, middle, and small. Because if there's a large angle and there's a smaller angle, then there has to be a middle angle. And it says the measure of the largest angle is 20 degrees more than twice the measure of the smallest angle. What do we know nothing about? Small angle, which is x. Now it says, and the measure of the second angle is 10 degrees more than the measure of the smallest, than twice the measure of the smallest angle. So, oh, wait, first. We know what the smallest is. Well, what's the large then? If the largest angle is 20 more than twice the measure of the smallest. 2x plus 20. And then the middle angle, okay, it says the measure of the second angle is 10 degrees more than twice the measure of the smallest. So it's 2x plus 10. Does everyone see what I did on that table, how I made that table, why I made that table, how easy it was for me to make that table? If you don't see that, I need to stop right now and help you. So just be honest with me, my brothers. I'm here for you. Does it make sense? Okay. Now, find the measure of each angle. Oh, this is great. Whoop-de-doo. We have all the angles. So what? What do we know now? Very good. Don't all of these angles have to add up to be 180, my brothers? So let's add up 2x plus 20 and 2x plus 10 and x, and you get 5x plus 30 equals 180. So 5x equals 150. Divide by 5. X equals 30. So my angles are 30, 70, and 80. Does that make sense, gentlemen? All those words, not that difficult at all. You just got to read and make a table. Make sense to everybody? May I continue? Okay, someone said wait. What's up? Okay. Now, next. Okay, I like this one because I like the picture of the backyard. I like this. All right, anyways, the perimeter of a rectangular swimming pool shown is 80 feet. If the length is 10 feet more than the width, find the length and the width of the pool. This is where you have to know your formulas, okay? And the perimeter of a rectangle, gentlemen, is 2 times width plus 2 times length. Now, I know that some of you are going to be tempted to just plug in and plug in and plug in without thinking. Make a table, please. They gave you information about the width and the length. What information did they give you? What do we know nothing about? The width, very good. What do we know about the length? So, what do we know about the length? Thank you. And now I know that the perimeter, which is 80, equals 2 times width plus 2 times length, and bada bing, bada boom, this one's done. This one is really simple. Not because I'm so smart, but because I just know a couple formulas and I set up a table, my brothers. That's all this is. So x equals 15, right? Yeah. So I want to find the length and the width of the pool. So this is a 15-foot by 25-foot pool. It's a nice sized pool. Does that make sense, gentlemen? Not just the answer, but the setup, anything. Yes, sir. Thank you for your honesty. I'm sorry, what, my man? Oh, how did you get the other 2x? Because remember that I'm distributing, my brother. So it's 2 times the length, so I had to distribute this. Thank you so much for asking. Thank you, man. Thank you. Questions, comments, concerns, problems, issues? Anything at all, guys? Talk to me, kid. No? Oh, now, very good follow-up there. The question was, would you be able to find the area now? Yeah, because now I know that I have 25 by 15. So if I wanted to find the area, it'd be 25 times 15. That'd be my area. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because I'm ignorant. Area is feet squared, not perimeter ever. That was my fault. Thank you, son. Sir. Anything else, boys? Thank you. Okay, let's do this one. A garden in the shape of a trapezoid between a sidewalk and a curb has an area of 18 square feet. The height is 3 feet, and the length of the shorter base is 2 feet less than the length of the longer base. Find the length of each base of the trapezoid. First of all, guys, do you guys remember what a trapezoid looks like? Okay, just in case you don't, let's see, can I get a trapezoid here? I don't know if they're going to give me one. No, I'm going to have to make one. Okay, no big deal. A trapezoid is something like this. It has a base, and it has another parallel base, and it's got 4 sides. It's not a square, it's not a rectangle, it's not parallelogram. It's a trapezoid. It's to find a trapezoid because the bases are parallel, and it will only have one pair of opposite parallel bases by definition. It doesn't have to look so pretty like this. This is also a trapezoid. This is parallel to that. You got 4 different sides. That's a trapezoid as well. Again, why you need to know these formulas. We're dealing with area, and the area of a trapezoid is base 1 plus base 2 times height divided by 2. I don't care who you call base 1 and base 2. That's base 1, that's base 2, or vice versa. It does not matter to me. Where did they get the height? The height is the distance from the top base to the bottom base. And that's where you get everything that you need from a trapezoid, okay? Now, all of that aside, because that's really actually not the point of this question, let's get to it. Okay, oh, I forgot that I had done that. Look how pretty. Oh, that's real nice. I like that. Okay, that's my, that's a trapezoid. So, now, a garden in the shape of a trapezoid between a sidewalk and a curb has an area of 18 feet. The height is 3 feet. So I know that h equals 3 feet. Okay. So I've got my height, base 1, and base 2. So I know my height is 3 feet because they told me. And the length of the shorter base is 2 feet less than the length of the longer base. So who do you know nothing about? Let's just call a longer base base 2. So that's x. So what would base 1 be? The length of the shorter base is 2 feet less than the length of the longer. Yep, so x minus 2. Does that make sense? Now, let's plug it in. What did they tell you the area was? 18. So 18 equals base 1 plus base 2 times height divided by 2. How did I teach you guys to get rid of this 2 down here? Yeah, multiply 2 to both sides. Very good. So I've got 36 equals 2x minus 2 times a 3. How do I get rid of that 3 that's being multiplied to those prisoners? Divide by 3. So that's 12 equals 2x minus 2. Add the 2. 14 equals 2x. And x equals 7. So my answer is base 1 is 5, base 2 is 7 feet. Does that make sense? Come again, my brother? Bottom right here, sir. That's okay. Right here. Make sense? Sir. Oh, sorry, I thought you had a question. Okay. Does that make sense, guys? Because that was it. Now we're going to start our work together, unless you have any other questions. All right. Thank you so much. Hope you learned a lot, and have a great day.